What's up, guys? So in today's video, we're going to talk about Delta stock. So I just recently posted a video about American Airlines, and one of you guys out there commented asking me to do Delta. And since I own Delta shares myself, I thought it might be a nice time to make a follow-up video. So in case you guys aren't really familiar with what's been going on lately with airline stocks in general, they have absolutely tanked. So the airline travel industry is one of the worst hurt by the whole coronavirus pandemic. And Delta stock is one of the stocks that has taken one of the biggest beatings. As we take a look here over the last 6 months, it's down around 61%. So a lot of you guys are wondering, should you continue to buy the stock if it keeps going down? So it looks like we found pretty good support at around $21 or so, and that's even after Buffett announced during his annual shareholders meeting in 2020 that he dumped all of his airline stocks. So he sold United, Delta, Southwest, and American Airlines. So after the Buffett effect has baked in, we found basically a consistent floor of $21 here. So right now, the biggest question is, can the company stay afloat? So to do that, we're going to just take a look at their balance sheet. So if you guys check out that previous video I made, I showed you how terrible American Airlines balance sheet was and why I was basically staying away. But Delta's in a much more better position. So first of all, Delta is holding about $6 billion in cash, which is a heck of a lot more than American Airlines was holding. And they have a lot of similar problems when it comes to long-term liabilities and things like that. So they do have, obviously, they have things like a couple maturing leases within the year, and of course they have their loyalty program and salaries and accrued benefits for employees. But the good thing about Delta is that in terms of shareholders' equity, it's not negative like it was for American Airlines, which is in a complete mess, if you ask me personally. And Delta is just a little bit more profitable. So American Airlines is one of the least profitable airlines out there. Delta is a lot better at turning a profit. The problem with this situation is that even though Delta was able to borrow a lot of money under the CARES Act, the problem is, how long is this going to take to get back to float? So obviously, a lot fewer people are flying. They've got a lot of empty planes and things like that. So I want to show you guys. Okay, so I want to show you guys a little bit of kind of what the problem is. So obviously it says the company expects a relief from the coronavirus CARES Act with a payroll support of 5.4 billion. So they're expecting to receive quite a bit of money. And also what this has done is that as consideration, the U.S. Treasury will receive warrants to purchase over 6.5 million shares of Delta stock at the strike price of $24. So basically, the U.S. Treasury thinks that Delta stock is worth around $24.39. That's based on the agreement that they had. So that's a good sign. So if you're able to buy the stock now, it's basically you're going to get it cheaper than the U.S. Treasury got it for. So I think that's why there's been a lot of support for the stock. The fact that the U.S. government is going to basically become a shareholder is definitely a sign of relief, because the U.S. government is obviously thinking the next 10, 20, and 30 years. So if you're thinking super, super long term, this could be a good investment for you if you have a holdings period of like 5 to 10 years, because trust me, this isn't going to bounce back anytime soon. Now, the reason why Buffett sold it, I just think Buffett had so many losses, and he'd rather raise the cash and just invest it somewhere else than deal with this whole debacle. So as you can see here, Delta was burning through $100 million a day in March, and then they are trying to get that down to around $50 million a day by the end of June. It says the decade of work we put into the balance sheet to lower debt and build unencumbered assets has been critical to our success in raising capital. We expect to end the June quarter with approximately $10 billion in liquidity. So where do I think Delta is going? Well, I think Delta has a strong support. The U.S. Treasuries have come in at around $24. But the problem is that this stock could just hover around here for a long time. So obviously Q2 is going to be even worse, and they're going to see even more catastrophic losses. But there is that strong support there, and I don't think the U.S. Treasuries is going to try to overpay too much for this stock. So what I'm thinking is basically Delta is just going to trend lower, as it could be like this for the next 6 to 12 months. So I'm really thinking, where's the upside? I think there's some other companies that you guys wanted to invest in. You have better upside. I would take a look at those cruise stocks, because cruises are going to bounce back a lot faster than airlines. It's just a completely different business model. And those cruise operators like Carnival and Royal Caribbean, they're not based in the United States, so they're not taking bailouts and things like that. They're simply just borrowing money. But for me now, I'm already down about 50%, more than 50% now. I'm down probably 55% on my Delta stock, and I could sell it and take an unrealized loss, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. Part of me says sell it, but since Buffett already sold his and that's already baked into the price, I don't think it's going to dip so much lower. Now, American Airlines is different, as you guys talked about. I think that stock's going to plummet, but Delta is definitely a stronger company. So I would say, it's up to you, but guys. But if you plan to buy Delta stock, be plan to hold it for at least 2 to 3 years, probably close to 4 or 5, because it's going to take a long time for things to bounce back to the way they were in 2019. So that's the thing. So should you buy it if it keeps dropping? Sure. If your holding period is 5 years or more, then it's okay to buy it. But if you're looking for like a short 6 to 12 month opportunity, then I would say stay away from it. So that's just my opinion on Delta stock. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and smash the subscribe button to get more updates. I post videos on the stock market every day, so be sure to stay tuned for more updates. And let me know in the comment section what you guys think about Delta stock. Are you buying? Are you selling? Do you think it's worth buying and holding for the long term, or are you kind of like Buffett and you're just going to dump all your shares and just stay away? So let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Until next time, take care.